And that should be the idea. And, speaking of which, I mentioned when when Baker's targeting OBJ, he throws 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions over the past 2 years. But when targeting Rashard Higgins, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and the Browns fans have been clamoring for Rashard Higgins forever. We were stoked to re-sign him. We see the chemistry that he has with Baker. Against the Bengals, 6 targets, 6 catches, and I believe you were saying before we recorded, it was the first time.
He's the first Browns receiver to break 100 receiving yards in a game this season.
Which is mind-blowing. That it took 7 games. With Jarvis Landry and OBJ, it took 7 games to get a receiver to break 100 yards, and it's Higgins.
To play, for sure, definitely a crazy stat line, but to play devil's advocate a little bit, we do know OBJ's going up. I don't want to use the excuses, but OBJ's been hobbled, Jarvis has been hobbled with the rib, Baker's been hobbled with the rib, and obviously, it's not that the coaching staff didn't recognize that chemistry either, because the times that Rashard Higgins wasn't on the field, it really came down to a numbers game. We know this offensive system likes tight ends. We run a 3 tight end system. We constantly have 3 tight ends out there. We have a big running back room. So there's only so many players you can have active on game day. And Rashard Higgins did what he needed to do. Sat patiently until his moment was called, and when his moment was called, he shined and was there to answer the call. So
it's very validating for us as Browns fans because we love Higgins and we've been yelling Higgins forever.
Right, for sure.
And for him to come in and have a big game. So this comes to the question: we only have him on a 1-year deal worth less than $1 million. Should we just re-sign him now? Do you just re-sign him now? Just get ahead of it?
Maybe not now, but I would say it shouldn't have to be like a quick deal, but the talks
should begin
for sure, and especially we'll see how the season progresses with the chemistry between the two. Now that the opportunity is there for him to be that X receiver, and it'll be up to Higgins. He said before he wants to be in Cleveland. That's the reason he signed that deal. He said when the deal was offered to him, he called Baker Mayfield and talked to Baker Mayfield about entering free agency or sticking around here, and Baker talked to him about how they want him here, how he wants him here. So I think that chemistry is there, not just on the field but outside of the field, and I think that'll play a big part in what his decision is. But the Browns obviously have to play ball. Clearly, he's not a superstar receiver. He'll probably go in free agency for very low. But you can't shorthand him, too, because he was obviously loyal to the team, did what he needed to do, and if the performance continues the way it's going, he will get paid.
I would love to see him at least open up talks, and before the season's over, it'd be nice if we can extend him on like a 2 or 3 year deal. Nothing like crazy, but even if it was like $10 million for 2 years, $5 million a year, something like that, that's still pretty low for a receiver. Granted, it's your 3rd receiver, blah blah blah. But if you're going to invest in your franchise quarterback Baker Mayfield, and it's obvious that he has chemistry with this receiver, both on and off the field, then an investment in Rashard Higgins is an investment in Baker Mayfield.
Exactly.
And I think it's one you have to make. Plus, as a Browns fan, Higgins is awesome. Did you see after Baker threw the touchdown to David Njoku, that like diving touchdown pass, and the defender was on the ground, Higgins was walking by and he like played a violin looking at the defender
I missed that.
And ran off. I saw it in like one of the film breakdowns, and I was like, yes, no taunting, just real quick, just doo-doo-doo, and just just ran off. I love that shit. So if I'm the Browns, I'm trying to re-sign Rashard Higgins today. Like I'm starting the talks, and I'm getting that going, and I want to have him re-signed before the season's over. I don't want him going to free agency, because now, especially if Odell's out and the chemistry with Higgins continues for this game and going into the second half of the season, he's got a shot of playing himself into a pretty big contract. There's going to be teams out there that'll take a shot on him and try to steal him away from us.
It all depends on his performance moving forward.
And you can be loyal to the Browns all you want, but if the Browns offer you $5 million a year and another team offers you $10 million a year,
it becomes a tough situation.
You know what I mean?
For sure.